Look at Japan's most recognizable design exports, from sleek electronics to high-end fashion and austere architecture, and you will find a consistent absence. Vibrant colors are almost entirely stripped away. In the West, we often label this aesthetic minimalism, borrowing the look to project a clean, modern taste. However, Japan's dominance of black, white, and gray is a codified visual language. It was built over millennia, shaped by spiritual beliefs, legal restrictions, and a cultural understanding of time. To understand Japanese culture, we have to look past the missing colors and start reading the specific meanings hidden within the shadows. The roots of this palette are in the earliest foundations of the Japanese language. Ancient color terms did not describe specific hues, but instead identified qualities of light, describing the world simply as light or dark. Shintoism, Japan's indigenous religion, claimed the light. White gravel and paper represent the sun goddess Amaterasu, serving as a physical symbol of purity and the avoidance of spiritual pollution. Zen Buddhism later heavily emphasized the dark. In Zen philosophy, black represents the void, a medium used to strip away superficial layers and force focus onto the essence of an object. This is practiced in spaces like the Ryoanji rock garden. The monochromatic palette of gray rocks and white gravel encourages a meditative state, where the viewer contemplates the core of reality rather than its surface-level appearance. Japan's spiritual foundation utilizes black and white as active tools for divine connection and personal transformation. Walk through a Tokyo business district today, and the conformity is immediate. The salaryman uniform of black, navy, and dark gray dominates the urban landscape. This uniformity reflects a cultural rhythm between two states of existence, hare, the extraordinary, and kei, the ordinary. Hare represents rare festivals. These are the moments where vivid colors and bright rituals are used to replenish community energy and commune with the gods. Kei represents the default state of existence, the mundane, everyday routine where the vast majority of life is spent. Because a constant state of hare is considered spiritually exhausting, the physical world defaults to the muted tones of kei to maintain energetic balance. The gray backdrop of daily life is a functional requirement. It preserves the impact of Japan's most vibrant, sacred moments by providing a necessary visual silence. During the Edo period, color became a political weapon. The shogunate issued strict sumptuary laws that legally banned commoners from wearing bright, expensive hues. Restricted to a palette of grays, browns, and indigo, commoners cultivated hundreds of subtle shades. They found sophistication entirely within these limitations. In post-war Tokyo, the designer Yohji Yamamoto repurposed this historical, restrictive palette. He grew up watching his widowed mother sew in a city rebuilding from ruins, where sober colors were a practical necessity. When Yohji Yamamoto debuted his collection in Paris in 1981, he sent models down the runway in oversized black shapes. This was a direct reversal of the bright neon, body-conscious trends of Western fashion at the time. Yamamoto used black as an anti-fashion armor. He designed garments to protect the wearer, prioritizing the autonomy of the person inside the fabric over the gaze of others. The Japanese absence of color transitioned from a legally enforced restriction to a design choice used to reclaim a wearer's privacy and independence. Modern Japanese environments still prioritize this traditional appreciation for muted tones and the natural aging of materials. We see this in the technique of sho sugiban. Charred cedar creates a deep black facade that slowly erodes into silvery gray, physically recording the passage of time on the building's exterior. This preference is even codified in modern law. The Landscape Act allows cities to set numerical limits on color saturation, forcing global brands to remove the neon colors from their logos to blend with the muted surroundings. Removing bright color makes room for the elements that truly matter in Japanese design: form, the passage of time, and the contrast of light. Architect Tada Ando uses raw, unadorned concrete to capture this interplay. For Ando, the gray material is a canvas that makes the presence of sunlight a visible, physical experience. Japan's monochromatic architecture serves as a specific response to a saturated world, demonstrating that design can be most effective when it refuses to compete for our attention and instead creates room for silence.